everyone. Welcome. So happy that you're here. So this is 3 lessons from my 8 years today and counting marriage. All right, so this is me and my husband 8 years ago today. You'll probably see this if you're on my Facebook. So this is us. And let me get onto the list. All right, so 8 years and counting, okay? I'm crazy excited. So today, I have 3 lessons that I've learned so far, and I really want to talk to you about them, okay? So I'm going to dive right in here. 1, be emotionally honest, okay? Now, this is something that my mentor taught me, and it's very, very important, guys. So when we are, because we're in this intimate relationship and these people, are all up in our stuff, right? Like it's just, it, stirs stuff up in us. It's our past gets, stirred up sometimes. And so we have this tendency to want to hide or not, say what's exactly up. So if we are getting angry at each other about, well, you didn't do this today, and whatever it is, a lot of times it's something deeper. And so being emotionally honest is one of the top things that I can recommend that you do, okay? Being able to say, you know what, I'm sorry I snapped at you this morning, but I feel like I haven't seen you for 2 days because you worked 2 nights in a row. So I'm feeling neglected and I'm feeling a little lonely, and now I'm starting to pick fights because I really just want your attention right now, okay? Stuff like that happens all the time. And we have to be honest about it from the get-go, okay? Because then at that point, let's say I did that to him, he can just give me like 10, 15, 30 minutes of his time, and we can sit there and reconnect and talk and just get back to being comfortable with each other and not feeling deprived, or if I just need to hear from him that he loves me, right? Which he tells me every day. He tells me I'm beautiful every day. All these things. Sometimes you just need somebody to look in your eye and say stuff to you and acknowledge you and validate you and be there for you regardless of whatever is going on. So it's really important to be emotionally honest and do it quickly, okay? Because the longer we hold out and, the more we don't say, the more we say things that we don't mean to say, okay? So first, be emotionally honest and do it quickly so that you can nip through all the stuff and you're not acting out on this stuff, okay? Figure out what it is you're feeling and be honest about it. 2, don't put the problems between you, okay? Every marriage has its own problems, its own, stuff going on. So if you think about this problem, I have an issue with him, right? Whatever it is. And then if I put it between us, I feel like it's an issue between us, right? Think of the problem as in a little box, okay? And I'm sticking this box between us and going, well, you're doing this and there's this big problem between us and we've got to overcome this freaking box just to get reconnected, okay? This is another thing that my mentor taught me, that it's like you put these problems between you and it doesn't work, because you're pitted up against each other, okay? But if you imagine yourself, okay, imagine the problem, the issue in front of you, okay, in a box, and your spouse next to you, okay? So it is us against the box, the problem, us united against the problem, because I adore him and he's an amazing man. And so it's us against the issue, as opposed to the issue between us, okay? And it may sound like semantics, but it really makes a big difference when you're in the moment and you're heated about something and it's like, okay, we've got this issue in our marriage and we've got to figure this stuff out, and if we're combating each other, it's not going to work. And then there's always going to be one person that feels guarded and the other person's going to feel like, it's just going to go head to head and it's not going to work, okay? So put the problems of your marriage in front of you in a little box, put it in front of you, and then you guys together can figure it out and tackle it from a united space instead of, against each other, or tackling the box from different angles, right? So 2 is to put the problems in front of you, not between you, Okay, so the first, thank you. Yep, so the first was being emotionally honest and quickly. The second is to put the problems in front of you instead of between you, okay? Third, I would say, is to give each other space to grow, okay? And grow together and apart wherever you need to go, right? This is your space, okay? And, you know, there are times, like we got married when I was, 23? Okay, I was like crazy young. And I was like, oh, you're so young to get married. And I was like, oh, whatever, I know what I'm doing, right? And today I see it more because we're not the same people that we married. We're just not. And that's perfectly fine. So the thing is that you have to help each other grow and mirror and work together. You know, I see places that he needs to grow because it's easier to see somebody else, right? And he sees spaces that I need to grow. And there are times in our marriage that he loved me more than I love myself, okay? And, you know, when we brought our son into the mix, right? Like the whole thing got wobbly, right? And we're trying to figure out how to navigate the new waters and do all of that, right? So there are things that come about. People change, you know, and you want to allow space for them to grow and allow this, you know, comfortable, nurturing space for each of you to grow and for it to be fine, right? So you see in almost every relationship that people grow, right? That people will, you know, grow here, or like she did some personal development work and he was like, well, what the heck are you doing? This is not the person I married. I didn't sign up for this, okay? Or, you know, he started figuring some things out about himself and he didn't feel supported and nurtured in his own growth, okay? So the goal is to really nurture each other and give each other the space to be who you really are, okay? Because everybody else is always throwing stuff on us of who we need to be, you know, even being a wife or a husband, right? This is who you need to be. You need, you know, for men, I know, especially when I've talked to my husband about this, you need to be strong. You need to hold the family together. You know, you don't cry. You know, like you've got this manly role that you've got to fill. And sometimes you just don't feel like it, right? And so it's important to communicate that, right? Be emotionally honest. This is how I'm feeling. And, you know I'm supposed to be holding this space, but I'm kind of feeling like stuff is just gonna like everywhere, right? Because I'm not feeling this. And allow each other to help you grow, okay? So I've got this. I understand that you're feeling that right now. And I understand, I'm hearing you say that you need me to help you hold this space while you get comfortable where you are, and to, you know, let each other fall apart. It's okay to fall apart, and you build each other back up, okay? So I will hold this ground while you fall apart, or while you need to do the growth that you need to do, and then you can help me. You know, I can hold this space for you, and I will be the stable grounding. And then once you get your footing, we can grow again together and we can really kind of flourish as a couple, okay? So work with each other's strengths, okay? You know, my strengths are going to be much different than his. You know, it comes down to even for housework, right? I hate having the broom. Thank you. Yes, having the broom, right? Like sweeping the floor and mopping. I hate it. Let me tell you, I hate it. And he's just like, it's no big deal, whatever, you know? And so something like that is so stinking meaningful to me, that he can do that. And it's like, it doesn't take a hit on his energy. He's just like, yeah, whatever, I'll do it, you know? And it takes it off my plate. And I'm just like, oh, right. It's just amazing that I don't have to stress about it. So use each other's strengths, you know? He hates to cook, right? And he's great if it's out of a box. And I hate box food. So I will do it, right? And it's no big deal to me because I enjoy it. And it's just, you know, this like meditative, like thing for me. Okay. So find each other's strengths. Is there something you hate doing that maybe your spouse is like, oh, you know what? I really don't care. I can do that. You know, it doesn't bother me. So, you know, work with each other's strengths, allow each other to grow and strengthen, and help them get to that space in a supportive space from you, okay? We don't need any more judgment. We have our own self-judgment, which is terrible, and the absolute worst. And then, you know, the judgment of everyone else around us. You have a unique and special thing between the two of you, your intimacy, your everything, you know, and guard that. Guard it, because we don't need anybody else in that space. Nobody else's opinion matters. This is your relationship. You guys know what works for you, okay? So work together and create that, okay? So my 3 tips, they were being emotionally honest and do it quickly. 2 is to don't put problems between you, okay? Put them in front of you and tackle it united. 3 is help each other grow and give each other space to do so, okay? I will give you an extra tip here. If you guys haven't read the 5 love languages, okay, there are, you know, five different ways that we give love, okay, and a lot of relationships that I've seen, you know, like if your husband is a gift giver and that's how he shows his love, because that's how he receives love. He feels love if he receives gifts, right? So he's going to be a gift giver because that's what he needs. And then you're getting all this stuff and you're like, well, thanks, but really I just wanted a heartfelt card, right? Because my love language is like words of affirmation. I just need to hear that he loves me and appreciates me. And now I'm getting all these gifts and it doesn't translate for me as love. Okay. So there is a website, I think it's the number 5 love languages or something like that, where you can take the quiz to kind of see what your love languages are. There are 5 different types, but sometimes it really helps because, you know, our love language is different than our spouse's most times. So making sure that they're getting the exact kind of love and that you're speaking their love languages so that they can feel the love and support from you. A lot of times I see that it stems from what we didn't get as children, you know, mine being quality time and words of affirmation. My husband's is words of affirmation and, quality time and physical touch. Okay. So even just like if he's standing in the kitchen doing something for me, rubbing his back, like, and he's like, you know, she sees me, she appreciates me, right? It's just a totally different language. If he does that to me, I don't notice it as much because it's not my language, right? So that is the little bonus tip, guys. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend it just to see where your language is at and how your spouse gives love, because you might see that they actually give you more love than you think, because they might be giving you gifts for love, right? And you don't receive them because it's not your language, okay? So it's a really good conversation starter and to get emotionally honest around it, okay? So you guys have any questions or anything? You good? Just let me know. Type in the chat box. My name is April Juleson. You can find me at apriljulson.com. I'm an empowerment coach, and you can also find me on Facebook. Okay, guys? So I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Okay? Bye.